Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Previously, it was discovered that J. Elbird flew the coop. There was a secret tunnel dug from his cell, and as it happens, the exit point was the detention center cell, occupied by one Horace Knightley. What a twist of fate, and by all accounts it looks like Anubis, the dog owned by Dogen, used that tunnel to kill Knightley. Though there is a question of why? What is the motive? I don't know. After all, Dogen is playing chess with Knightley. I would think that he would be kind of invested in seeing that game become fulfilled. I don't know. Well, now we're actually having to prove some things wrong with Courtney here, so let's get right into this. I presume you know of the incident Mr. Knightley caused the day before yesterday?
Hold it!
Judge Courtney, about this incident. You do not know of it? That would be unbecoming of you, Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth. Naturally, I know of it. However, in that case, this is a waste of time. I shall continue. Mr. Knightley, he attacked a guard and stole his keys.
Hold it!
Do you have proof Knightley stole the keys? It is the only explanation as to why Mr. Knightley would have attacked the guard. We will know for certain the moment the guard regains consciousness. Is that really true? Should I ask Judge Courtney for more information? What could it hurt? There is one point in your reasoning that is odd. If Knightley did indeed steal the key, I'd expect he'd try to escape immediately. Was it really necessary for him to wait for Mr. Keys to help him escape? He simply chose the method with the highest probability of success. After stealing the key, he concealed it on his personage. As he waited for the opportune moment, that is what I believe. He concealed the key? Judge Courtney, such an oversight is unlike you. Knightley could not have concealed the key, and I can prove it. Knightley did not hide the key, and the proof is the metal detector. Would that have caught it? Cripes. Where did the attack take place? I completely forget. It's been a day since I last played. Actually, I don't even think it was mentioned last time either. Crime scene notes. I mean, do we bring up that he was probably in the tunnel at some point? Well, no, that happened after he died, I think. So the metal detector is to the left. I think you... I want to say Knightley was... I want to say this incident where he attacked the guard happened in his cell. Man, there has been nothing about this rope, has there? It's so weird. The proof Knightley did not hide the key. Oh. Do we say that his best hiding place was in here, but it was hollow? So it clearly wasn't there? That might be what we do. That's interesting to think about. All this stuff isn't related to Knightley. Yo, maybe we do... Wait. Oh. Wait. Were there metal detectors on the route that Simon Keyes pulled the cage? Well, I mean, probably not. The cage is too big and bulky to pass through them, and what's more, it's made of metal anyway, so it would trigger the alarm, so... I don't think that's it. I don't think it's the security gate. Maybe we do use the chessboard. It's probably not going to be this, but I think that's my best shot.
Take that!
No. Judge Courtney, don't you have a problem with that statement just now? Should I have a problem with it? Exactly, because there's no problem at all. In that case, you should have refrained from speaking in the first place. No. I don't think that left a good impression. Okay, we can back out then. Afterwards, Simon Keyes stopped by his cell with an animal cage from the show. So, Mr. Keyes' actions were intended to help Knightley escape from the prison. Yes, he stopped by the detention center's holding cells with the cage. This is Simon Keyes' own testimony. It can't be denied. His visit to Knightley's cell ended up drawing suspicion, as one would imagine. Simon was just clumsy. His clumsiness led him to bring the cage to the detention center. Or he brought the cage to help Mr. Knightley escape. Which explanation do you think is more natural? I see you understand. Simon Keyes carried the cage to the detention center. During this time, Mr. Knightley was able to use the stolen key to exit his cell.
Hold it!
Do you have proof Knightley stole the keys? It is the only explanation as to why Mr. Knightley would have attacked the guard. We will know for certain the moment the guard regains consciousness. Is that really true? Should I ask Judge Courtney for more information? This looks like it's going down the exact same route. Huh. We'll pass by it for now. Could you please continue with your reasoning? I understand. Mr. Knightley used the stolen key to leave his cell. He then hid in the cage while it was moved to the prison workroom.
Hold it!
Why would he have needed to do such a thing? In order to escape. How else would you explain his actions? That is... The animal cages are made of metal. They would not have been subjected to a check. The animal show takes place once a month. So naturally, Simon Keyes would have known about it. That wasn't enough to negate her point. Well, no. Keyes wouldn't know about it. This was his first time here at the prison. He's a new employee. That said, her statement here did directly answer my question of whether or not the cage would set off the alarm. It's not subject to check at all. As long as the cage was covered, it would have been simple to avoid the guard's eyes. But instead of helping Mr. Knightley escape, Simon Keyes betrayed and killed him. This is a truly unforgivable crime. She says Mr. Knightley stole the keys, but he denied it, didn't he? Unless Knightley had the keys, this logic doesn't hold up. This will be the breaking point. I'll try pressing the testimony further. So, I guess that's what we have to do then. Do you have proof Knightley stole the keys? Is that really true? Yeah, more information. There is one point in your reasoning that is odd. If Knightley did indeed steal the key, I'd expect he'd try to escape immediately. Was it really necessary for him to wait for Mr. Keys to help him escape? He simply chose the method with the highest probability of success. After stealing the key, he concealed it on his personage. On his personage. That's what we're trying to prove against. He did not hide the key, maybe because there's proof that he was searched? Let's see. Oh, the incident. Oh. Wow, I'm an idiot. Yeah, we don't know where it is currently. If it was on his personage, we would have found it.
Take that!
God. Sometimes this really is just the most obvious thing, huh? Haven't the guards informed you yet? They searched Knightley after he attacked the guard, and the key was nowhere to be found. Since the key's location is unknown, your logic doesn't hold. That is not an issue. There is an explanation. Mr. Knightley had the key. It simply wasn't found. The reason being, he concealed it inside the chessboard. The chessboard? You mean the one that concealed the murder weapon? Come now, how do we know whether or not the murder weapon was really there? What? Take some responsibility for your own words. That was all Sebastian's idea, after all. I forgot he was here. So, those two don't always agree on their reasoning. In other words, once we put all the pieces together, Mr. Knightley concealed the key he stole from the guard inside the chessboard. When Simon Keyes arrived, Mr. Knightley used the key to slip out of his cell. He entered the animal cage and was transported to the workroom. All thanks to his accomplice, Simon Keyes. Mr. Knightley had planned to be carried outside after the show had ended. However, he was betrayed by his accomplice and murdered during the circus performance. Mr. Keyes performed in the show. You would have had no opportunity to murder him during the circus performance. No opportunity? Is that so? A story plays itself out on the stage, and such was the case with the animal show. So she examined the content of the show. The suspect plays the role of the villain who antagonizes the elephant heroine. In the final act, the villain is defeated by the heroine's love, and all ends well. At that point, the suspect, in the role of the villain, is blown away by the heroine's burning love and makes his exit. Blown away by the elephant? Was he hurt? After being blown away, the suspect disappeared from the stage. Okay, so the elephant's trained to vault people over or up in the air, and last we saw, the elephant was stationed right near the big fence. My god, I swear to god that the elephant yeeted someone over that fence at one point, didn't it? Oh man. The suspect was absent from the stage for about 15 minutes. Are you saying the crime was committed during that time? Even in such a short period of time, it would still be possible to carry out the murder. Don't you think so?
Objection!
So, he committed the crime in 15 minutes and then returned to the stage. That may have been possible, but if the crime scene had been the prison... Judge Courtney, the actual crime took place in the detention center. I'm afraid I cannot accept that camera footage alone as evidence.
Objection!
As for evidence, I have it. Well then, please show us your evidence. Where is the evidence that shows the scene of the crime was the detention center? The wiped floor.
Take that!
This is... the floor? Oh, goddess of law, I am unable to comprehend your mysterious ways. This is what we discovered. The area here was tested positive for Mr. Knightley's blood. This blood test, can it really be trusted? To begin with, how were you able to conduct a scientific investigation?
Objection!
I happen to have a subordinate. I can't vouch for his competence, but he is a man that I trust. That detective? This concerns me. I cannot think why one would disturb the order of the law. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee's influence goes as far as the police department. Gummy's in trouble! Forgive me, Detective. I'm afraid something bad may come of this. I will accept the fact that blood was found at the detention center as evidence. However... How ridiculous. This is unthinkable of you, you third-rate prosecutor. Mr. DeBest, you're here? I completely... Oh man. I swear to God, my mind is in tune with Edgeworth. I swear, every once in a while I'll make a comment in reaction to someone saying something ridiculous, and then Edgeworth will immediately say the same thing, and here he is forgetting that Sebastian was here too. Ah, man. There's a giant contradiction in your statement. According to the security tape, a dog killed Knightley in his cell. Then, after he left the cell, the blood on the floor was wiped away. Oh! Did the dog wipe away the bloodstains? As if that could happen. Oh, Dogan's here too? I forgot. That is possible. Of my Anubis, right, boy? What? That was one of the tricks I taught him while I was still in the outside world. He makes sure to hide any bloodstains he makes. So as not to leave behind any evidence. I was saved, if only by chance. Shouldn't you have taught your dog to shake or something? Anubis also performs that trick very well. But the shake I taught him is a little different from others. First, he bites the victim's hand. Stop, stop, stop! I don't want to hear any more! I see. I understand, Prosecutor Edgeworth. It appears you've gathered a good hand. I'm glad you My argument isn't over yet. Objection overruled. Hey now, that's a little harsh. Sebastian, would you allow me the privilege of explaining? Sure, Justine. Do you finally realize The murder occurred in the detention center. Therefore, that assassin's pet dog. My opinion has not changed. Unless I can understand how the dog was able to enter and leave the crime scene, I'm afraid I cannot accept your logic, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, this one is a gimme. This is the freest one ever. I've been waiting for you to say that. Now, let me show you. This evidence shows the route the dog used to go between the detention center and prison.
Take that!
This photo. It shows a secret tunnel hidden in the prison. That's impossible! A secret tunnel! And that was a good episode of Avatar. This tunnel was dug by the escaped prisoner J. Elbird. It begins in his prison cell, and it's connected to the holding cell in the detention center. Namely, the victim's cell. I'm shocked. How did this... Dogen, you must have known of this, since you used this tunnel to commit murder. In the name of the goddess of law, I hereby reject Prosecutor Edgeworth's claim. Oh, hello. Also, what is the name, huh?
Hold it!
What do you mean? Evidence is everything. That remains true here, just as in the courtroom. Isn't that right? I have evidence here. Horace Knightley's autopsy report. Yo! Oh, the tables have turned. Autopsy report? Since when? Why are you surprised? This was delivered straight from the police a short while ago. It's not complete yet, more of a preliminary report. Here, the very word of the goddess of law is written. Cause of death? Stab wound to the neck, died instantly. Murder weapon? Sharp metal object. The victim was stabbed multiple times in the same spot with a sharp object. Although they were unable to determine the actual shape of the murder weapon, they have clear proof that it was a sharp metal object. So, do you still stand by your claim? That a dog used a sharp object to kill the victim? Hey, I have seen multiple anime dogs hold swords in their mouths. This can't be. That is all. The court is adjourned.
Objection!
But wait, the tunnel contains the dog's footprints. Perhaps it may have been one of Anubis's walking courses. I can never tell what Anubis gets up to outside my cell. Something feels unnatural about all this, but I have no evidence. Courtney Pie, you sure pulled out a hidden gem at the very last moment. She waited for the perfect time to reveal the autopsy report. Have I let her outwit me again? Appointed Attorney Shields. Here's the autopsy report from earlier. I apologize for the delay. No, it's all right. Thank you. I gladly accept it. Mr. Shields, I don't believe it's necessary to hold hands while exchanging documents. I'd advise you to stop. persist any longer, and I shall call on the strength of the goddess of law. I'll be careful. Justine, well done. Just as I planned. I only acted in accordance to your instructions. The autopsy report came straight from the police. I can't refute it. However, if the murder weapon wasn't the dog, Dogen will be cleared of suspicion. The merciful goddess of law so decrees. If you choose to yield now, your badge will not be taken.
What will you do, sir? She says that, but...
My answer remains the same. Judge Courtney, it is as I said before. I will see my job through. I will not yield to threats. So even now, you still refuse to give up. If you want to keep your badge, this may be your last chance. Right now, I am a defense attorney's assistant. What I protect is not my badge, but my client. The goddess of law grows weary of your sentiment.
Now we're talking. Miles is starting to understand that a defense attorney never gives up. Actually, those were the words of your old man.
My father?
It really is in your blood. You're the spitting image of him right now. You said it yourself. You've changed since you were tainted by Von Karma. It's only now that I've actually come to believe it.
Mr. Shields.
Well then, Miles. Now's the time to put those skills to the test. Think beyond your limits. If the murder weapon was a sharp object, does that really negate your reasoning?
The murder weapon was a sharp object. That's it. There were 5 chisels placed inside the special cell. Dogen is a former assassin. It's quite possible he could kill someone with just a chisel. In that case, the weapon that killed Horace Knightley was... Is that all? Well then, I suppose you'll... Evidence is everything, didn't you say? The murder weapon was a sharp metal object. However, such a weapon has yet to be found. What? So what are you trying to say? The only decisive evidence is the actual murder weapon itself. And that was in plain sight this whole time. The real murder weapon is... Dogen's chisel. What did you say? Take responsibility for your own statements. The scene of the crime was Mr. Knightley's cell. You said so yourself. If the evidence changes, then so will my logic. That too is courtroom procedure, is it not? If the chisel was used, that means the killer was human. However, the fact remains that we cannot deny the security photo. Yeah, what about that photo? I'll give you the answer. This photo shows the moment. Someone attacked the dog. By photo... Do you mean the footage? Security photo. Okay, yeah, we can't prove that the dog killed the victim. No way. And there's nothing pointing to someone attacking the dog, but I think it's sure enough to say that the dog leapt at the victim. Dogen's dog leapt at Knightley. However, the victim did not die at that time. Didn't die? He was only knocked unconscious. The dog didn't move a dead body. It moved the unconscious Knightley. And the real killer was its owner.
I see. If the victim was moved, it would have been possible for Dogen to commit the murder.
And use of the murder weapon. Indeed, the killer is Sirhan Dogen. It can only be you. I bet your teacher used to write on your report card. Yeah? Needs to pay more attention on what others say. I would think that describes you more. We examined that room. Every crook and granny. Right, Justine? Granny? We examined all 4 of Mr. Dogen's chisels. 4, you say? And found no traces of blood.
Hold it!
Oh, snap. Huh. Thank you, Judge Courtney. Thanks to you, I am now certain. Thanks to me? Whatever do you mean? When I came here earlier, I saw 5 chisels. That's right. There were definitely five there before.
So the one that disappeared was...
The smallest one, presumably for portability. Dogen, where is that chisel? Also, that's a typo. That W should be lowercase.
I'm not free to leave this place. I have no need of a portable chisel.
Not free to leave. In that case, he mustn't have been free to hide the deadly chisel either. Dogen, you just dug your own grave. It seems you know something. Would you care to show it? Dogen couldn't leave, so the place he hid the chisel is... I mean... Yeah. Dogen is a prisoner, so he can't leave his cell freely. Perhaps he could have sent his dog out to dispose of it, but he would not have been able to confirm the weapon's location.
So, what does that leave?
Above all else, special metal tools are allowed in the cell. Even if one chisel were to appear here, no one would suspect a thing. You'd be a fool not to take advantage of that.
I see. Of course, it's always safest if you do something yourself.
But I examined everything. Didn't find any hiding places in his cell. I am certain that the murder weapon is here. The reason you haven't found it is because it was cleverly hidden.
You say I hid it. Where exactly?
Think. Where could he have hidden it? I have to remember everything up to this point. There must be some clue.
Does this mean what I think it means?
Oh, let's get going, Mr. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, that dog hasn't barked at me once today. Previously, when I came to the special cell, it barked on Dogen's command. That's it. That's what's been out of place. There's just one place he could have hidden the murder weapon.
Giving up already? How dull, how dull.
Hold it!
I will present evidence. This piece of evidence shows where you concealed the murder weapon. I had the thought. It looks that way. It's in the dog's mouth.
Take that!
Hasn't your dog been awfully quiet today?
Now that you mention it, it hasn't barked at all.
Sir Hondogen, open that dog's mouth now.
Anubis doesn't bark needlessly. I ordered him to do that before.
In that case, order it to bark now.
Naturally, you should be able to, if you have nothing to hide.
It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. As you can see, a dog of this size can easily...
What? Why a chisel?
The dog really had one in its mouth? I thought he was unusually quiet. Was he unable to follow the discussion? God bless that child.
Sebastian, could you call the forensics department? Urgently, please.
Ugh, I got it. A reaction. This chisel tests positive for blood.
What?
I guess that proves my theory wasn't just nonsense. Would this chisel be the murder weapon then?
It reacted positively for blood. There's no doubt about that.
Well. So there's a small bell attached to it. Interesting.
Mr. Sir Hondogen, now that the murder weapon has been found, I must ask you for your testimony.
We know how your dog got to the detention center, and we found the murder weapon. Do you still think you can talk your way out of this?
Interesting. This guy, even at a time like this, he's still smiling.
Well, Anubis, it seems everyone has become suspicious of you. It's quite troubling, but since it has come to this, we have no choice but to tell the truth. I did not kill anyone. I've long since grown weary of killing.
What's this?
His face looks completely composed.
It seems we'll need to listen to Mr. Dogen's explanation. Please promptly give your testimony.
Certainly. Oh no, this is interesting. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive. I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. Oh my god. Come on, dude. So I wouldn't think some motive for murder would just appear out of nowhere? Or are you insinuating my Anubis had a motive? He only bares his fangs at others on my command. I do not hunger for blood so much as to kill a man I do not even know.
Coming from an assassin, it sure is persuasive.
An assassin who only kills acquaintances. I doubt that would be profitable. I may kill strangers in my line of work, but I never make it personal. Is there evidence that shows a connection between Knightley and Dogen? I should thoroughly review the evidence once more. Dude. Like, come on, dude. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive.
Hold it!
You cannot kill without a motive. Hardly what I'd expect an assassin to say.
I don't spill blood needlessly.
It may be required for my job, but not in my personal affairs. They're a little different. Isn't that right, Anubis? I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection.
Hold it!
You didn't know Knightley. It's not like you to say something like that. You overestimate me considerably. Did you have such a hard time arresting me in the past? We've already looked into it. You are the prison supplier. Naturally, you would have known about the other prisoners. Hearing one thing and knowing 10 is just an ordeal. It's true, I do hear things, however, that doesn't mean that I know everything. I've never heard of anyone named Knightley. So I wouldn't think some motive for murder would just appear out of nowhere.
Hold it!
You are an assassin. You do not require a motive to kill. Hey, Anubis, what do you think of this man? Is he an idiot, a fool, or possibly even a genius?
Objection!
You can drop the act, answer the question. But first, consider this. Who am I? Before your eyes, you see the man you arrested yourself. The assassin Sirhan Dogan. For those I have needlessly killed, I chant a prayer. Or are you insinuating my Anubis had a motive?
Hold it!
The dog probably did not have a motive. However, it has been trained to kill. Anubis, how could this man say such a thing? You poor thing. There. The dog isn't you. He could have mistaken his target. In that case, wouldn't police dogs be equally untrustworthy? If you still mean to suspect Anubis, then you'll have to show me this evidence you're so fond of. Ugh, I don't have that kind of evidence. He only bares his fangs at others on my command.
Hold it!
Then perhaps you ordered him to kill Knightley. Aren't we impatient? Haven't you forgotten the first thing I said? I don't know anyone called Knightley. Although you still insist I do, I'm afraid there's no evidence. Don't you think so too, Anubis? Good boy, good boy. Did the dog kill him? Or did Dogan? If Dogan did not have the motive to kill, then he could not have murdered Knightley. First, I should show proof of some connection between Dogan and Knightley. Okay, here we go. Just wanted to see all the dialogue.
Objection!
You've lost your touch, Sirhan Dogan. If you had your dog clean up after you, you should have disposed of this, too. This is a record of a correspondence chess game found in the victim's cell. This record and the chessboard in your cell both clearly depict the same game. Wow, that is the most composed freakout I've ever seen in this franchise. What? I've heard that the number of possible chess positions is around 10 to the power of 120. 10 times 10? 120 times? 100? 1,000? Is that even a real number? Indeed. There's absolutely no way these two could have coincided by chance. Tell us your reason for killing Knightley. Unless you intend to explain this as a coincidence. say that the truth is stranger than fiction. Oh my god, I was about to say, what do you want to bet that they were, anonymously paired? Like, my god. It is as you said. This is merely a coincidence. But there's no way that could have happened. My correspondence chess opponent was the victim in this incident. What a horrible coincidence. Aren't you shocked too, Anubis? Looks like I'll have to tell them the truth, Anubis, my boy. The animal show, or something, that was when everyone left. Anubis brought the body to my cell. He had already been stabbed in the neck with a murder weapon. I did not wish to be suspected, so I had Anubis carry the body to the workroom. After that, he pulled out the murder weapon and returned to me. So the murder weapon was embedded in his neck. So you're saying the one who pulled the weapon out was Anubis? That's right. If I pulled out the murder weapon here, the blood would have been a problem. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't what that saw-it guy said? A large black dog was biting into the neck of the victim. What did you say? It was a truly hellish scene. That dog killed him. I see. So that means saw it and witnessed the moment the murder weapon was pulled out. Oh yes, that prisoner's testimony. It surprised me when I first heard it. It's not often that Anubis makes a blunder like that, right, boy? Now I believe that explains my actions. I did not kill him. All I did was remove the murder weapon. Now will that be all? Anubis is getting tired.
Objection!
Well there, just a moment. Mr. Dogan. Mr. Shields? Isn't there one thing you haven't explained? Why would he need to pull out the murder weapon in the first place? Yeah. The murder weapon is the fifth chisel. How did it leave your cell? That's right. I understand why he'd move the body to draw suspicion away from him. But he didn't need to retrieve the murder weapon. I thought him just a fool, but how quickly his scent has changed. Care to elaborate, Mr. Dogan? It was because of this bell. The bell attached to the murder weapon, and the bell on my dog's neck. They share a distinctive shape, wouldn't you say? The assassin Sirhan Dogan's trademark. An assassin's trademark? Oh yeah, I guess Shelley the killer has a shell. Dogan must leave behind a bell. The blind assassin, Sirhan Dogan, he always appears at the sound of a bell. The sound of a bell ringing in the dark of night is said to be the last thing his target hears. You remember well. It has been a while since you last saw my bells, after all. When I prosecuted you in court, I confiscated a knife with a bell attached to it. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom-made, attached to my knife and Anubis's collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas,
One has been confiscated and is not in my possession. Uh-huh. When Anubis brought the body here, I heard a familiar sound. I thought my knife must have been embedded in the body. So imagine my confusion when I found out that was merely a chisel with my bell attached. Someone framed Dogen. Indeed, your knife is nothing like this chisel. Either way, those bells are my trademark. Moreover, I'm the only one in this prison who uses chisels. With all this, I knew I would be falsely suspected. So I removed the murder weapon and hid it. So you're claiming that you only moved the body? Didn't I tell you? That chisel isn't mine. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and check for my fingerprints. Sebastian. Eh? Me? But how do I check for... Forensics? Yes, ma'am. Reaction. We have fingerprints. They're Knightley's, Justine. What about Dogen's? No, just Knightley's. And there's no evidence of prints being wiped either. Only Knightley's fingerprints. It can't be. Should we re-examine it? See now? I never even touched that chisel. Because I ordered Anubis to carry it in his mouth. In other words, the fingerprints belong to the chisel's original owner. Oh. The murder weapon's owner was the victim. This is perplexing. At any rate, I did not touch the murder weapon. In other words, the killer could not have been me. Isn't that right? Gah! I have nothing to refute that. How could this... Is he really not the killer? Could Dogen's testimony actually be true? This can't be. It seems this is sufficient enough not to warrant any further explanation. As it stands, you have not changed the state of this case. I believe this is more than enough reason for us to relieve you of your badge. Oh, fuck you! To save any needless fuss, I'd suggest you hand over your badge now.
This is bad, sir. They sound serious.
It's regrettable, but with those prints as decisive evidence, I'll have to rethink my logic from step one. But there are still many unexplained things. Why would Mr. Knightley be carrying a chisel?
It could be used for many things. Perhaps even prison escape.
Well then, how did he carry it into the prison? I mean, the prisoners aren't even allowed cutlery. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? Even if your reasoning is off at first, you shouldn't let that confuse you. The most important thing is to arrive at the truth. Isn't that right? It doesn't matter how you get there. The end result is to save Simon. We have to do everything we can for his sake.
Well said, Kay.
Nice one, Kay. I really want to scout you for the law firm now. Remember when Uncle Ray said a defense attorney never gives up? Miles, do you understand the true meaning behind those words? The true meaning of those words. Defense attorneys carry the fate of their client on their shoulders. You are the only person your client can rely on.
Just like with Mr. Keys, we're the only ones who can save him now. We are linked by fate to our clients. That is why we must never give up. There's no way Uncle Ray can go against the teachings of Gregory. So, what will you do? Currently, I am a defense attorney's assistant. No, an assistant at my father's firm. I have made a commitment to this case. Therefore, if I don't save my client, I cannot say I've achieved it. I will abide by this. To save Simon Keys. No matter how many times my logic fails, I will always find another possibility.
Okay, you're finally back. Well then, let's search for that other possibility. To start with, do you think there was a way Mr. Knightley could have brought the chisel into the prison?
The method Knightley used to bring the chisel into the prison was... the chessboard, probably. Normally, metal objects can't be brought into the detention center or the prison.
They'd just be caught by the security gate.
However, there is one way to avoid this, and that is if they're sent in a package in the detention center.
That gate is only used on people. In other words, packages sent to the detention center undergo a simpler check.
So they don't use a metal detector for that.
This never should have happened. It seems the guards were too careless.
Knowing this, Knightley asked Simon to send him a package, namely a chessboard containing the chisel.
Well, this has solved one of our problems. The fact that the chisel was not Mr. Dogan's, but Mr. Knightley's.
Given this, one major issue remains. The security camera shows a dog attacking the victim. As long as that exists, I will maintain that Dogan is the killer. But Dogan never touched the murder weapon. I'm stumped.
We also desire conclusion to this matter.
Mr. Edgeworth, we can use one of my secret weapons, sir. Secret weapon number 4. The video analyzing machine, Mr. Analysis. Enhance.
What's with that ridiculous name?
I named it myself, sir. This will let us analyze video footage in detail.
Go ahead. You'll soon see I'm not lying.
I don't know what will come of this, but all we can do now is investigate. Mr. Edgeworth, do you know how to use Mr. Analysis?
A video analysis machine. Should I hear how to use it?
Wow, I feel like this is optional, but okay.
Detective Gumshoe, could you show me how to use it?
Of course, sir. Fundamentally, it's the same as investigating a crime scene. You just examine everything that piques your interest, piques your curiosity.
To examine it, just press the X button.
Now, I'd like you to look at the buttons below the monitor. The left and right buttons are rewind and fast forward, respectively. And the center button lets you pause the video. Let's make good use of it to advance our investigation, sir.
To rewind and fast forward, I use the Y and A button. And to pause, I use the B button.
While pause, you can go to the previous frame or the next frame. You just use the same left and right buttons as before, sir. Next, I'll explain how to zoom in. Just point the cursor at the area you want to zoom in on and press the button on the upper left of Mr. Analysis. The one that says Zoom Plus.
It seems I can also use the L button to zoom in.
And after you've zoomed in, you can examine it just like you would the original image. Use the previous frame and next frame buttons to examine frame by frame. But you can't actually play back the video in this mode, so keep that in mind.
And what should I do if I want to zoom out?
Just press the top left button on Mr. Analysis again, sir. Now it should say zoom minus. And that concludes the explanation, sir. Well then, let's turn on Mr. Analysis.
No. That can wait. That can wait.
So, as if the example that this tutorial used to zoom in on the mirror wasn't clear enough. Yeah, the mirror. It's the mirror. I knew it. I knew it ever since I first saw that footage for the first time. I knew the mirror was important. Oh, I can't wait to see what happens. Oh, God. What happened? Truly. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I definitely think that, Patricia Rowland is suspect number 1 now. I believe it, that Dogen was a red herring. I don't think he's the killer. And for that matter, I don't think Anubis was as well. Simon Keyes is obviously innocent. He's way too meek and trustworthy to possibly be the killer, unless he's pulling some last-minute twist. Like, who knows, maybe he'll let his hair down and turn into Sephiroth or something. I don't know. Yeah, you never know who has a split personality in these games, man. Jay Elbert, he may have flown the coop, or not. He may be disguised as a security guard, but God, wouldn't it be hilarious if he's the guard that Knightley knocked unconscious? I hope that's the case. That would just be hilarious. Yeah, Patricia Rowland. I don't know what her motive would be, and I'm not entirely sure how she would have done it, but she's really all that's left. I mean, I don't think Regina Berry did it either. That girl's way too innocent. No, sir. I really do think this is a matter of elimination. Just a process of elimination. It's not Syatt. It's not Jay Elbert. It's not Dogen. It's not Regina. It's not Simon. So that just leaves Patricia. So I guess we'll have to figure out how that figures in next time. In the meantime, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Ace Attorney Investigations. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.